Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to today's video. We kind of wanted to have a discussion on what the best decks are going to look like post OP08. This is going to be before the new structure decks, so do keep that in mind. We have all the leaders in front of us here today. So let's get started with the first set of structure deck leaders.
Yeah, from first look, I can just say that these two leaders are absolute shite because the abilities are so underwhelming. There's other mono colored leaders that do the same thing but better. Green Kid.
Yeah,
Green Kid is a tricky one because you can literally stick a Bonnie list onto a Green Kid and it would somewhat be viable.
I would say Kid is somewhat playable.
Yeah, that
You
that
could you
ability
could
is
fill
so
a deck.
generic.
Yeah, you could fill a deck with all 2Ks and events and just spam the leader effect every turn.
Yeah, just go face,
Um,
face, face.
it's playable, but I think it's barely playable.
Like it's barely playable, like it's on the lowest end of playable, in my opinion. Kaido, mono deck Kaido with the new Black Maria. I feel like it could make a return.
Yeah, I would say it's maybe Rogue, but I would even go as high as to say it's a bit higher than Rogue.
I feel like this
Um,
deck has potential.
yeah,
I
it definitely does. I would either put that at the top of Rogue or the bottom of having potential. The
mm,
leader effect is very strong paired with Black Maria.
it can like starve a lot of decks, like especially in this low meta. Uh,
Yeah, with decks like Enel and Nami still around, I could see it being a very strong
mhm.
anti-meta strategy.
Yeah, I feel like I could put it in potential.
Yeah, I would. I would agree.
Yeah. Next up, Zoro.
Zoro, one of your favorite leaders, right?
One of my favorite past leaders that I used to play, and the new animal stuff that Zoro uses now is so strong. Like it floods the board so fast. Like I literally played against the Zoro today, and they flooded the whole board in one turn, and it wasn't even their turn; it was my turn.
How do you think it stacks up against Rob Lucci nowadays?
Oh, this deck absolutely destroys like these new slow leaders like Lucci and Bonnie, I think, because they literally can't keep up.
That's interesting because I would have thought it loses to Black.
Hmm.
Uh,
Depending
I
on
guess with I stage, it's a different story.
depending on how much high end, like mid high end Zoro plays. Well, I've not tested it with all the new flood stuff.
Do you think you could top
I feel
original?
like it could outpace the Lucci, but it could never out top originals in my opinion.
Better than Kaido, worse than Kaido?
Oh, way better than Kaido, but still not to regional topping level.
Maybe top of potential, I guess.
Hmm. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think Zoro is always going to be a strong deck. It always has been. Even
Yeah,
back in like OP05, it was a counter pick to Saka at one point, even
yeah.
though a
I
Rob
remember
Lucci
in
can ruin your day.
OP3 when Law was dominating. This was a counter pick.
Yeah, maybe it will do something, but I think it does lose to green a bit,
The
which I
new
think is
five
a
cost
driving
carrot,
force.
the new five cost carrot, and the new event Electrical Luna absolutely destroys this deck.
Yeah, I don't see the electric seeing much play outside of Carrot. Yeah, I would say it's top of potential.
Yeah, top of potential. Next up, Red Green Law. Is he making a return? Do you think?
I'm gonna say I think this will win another regional this set.
It won
I
original
think
last set.
yeah. I think it will win another one.
Do you think win
There are
another
a
one?
lot of good Red Ring Law pilots out there. Um,
Shout out to
the
Pam.
the shut us the pan. The deck can definitely catch you off guard. I think it's good into a lot of the current meta decks that's not
Hmm.
black.
Especially with Red Purple
Um,
Law now gone, it's a lot more viable, I think.
yeah, you can tech in stuff like the new 5 cost Luffy, the one that makes your stuff cannot be
Mm-hmm.
KO'd. Um, I would be wanting to put this at the bottom of regional topping. What do you think?
At the bottom of regional topping. Oof. Uh, I mean, except that one guy that played low in Utrecht and he managed to win. I don't see anyone else topping, to be honest.
I see pan topping.
Yeah, I would say it's like at most regional topping, at the least, like at the bottom.
Maybe one or two, yeah, maybe one or two regional tops. The guy that won that regional did go ahead and win a lot of treasure cups afterwards as well.
Yeah, and he did in fact go against a couple of Black Lucci and Red Purple Law, so it is possible.
Maybe just put it at the bottom. We can move it down later
Yeah.
if it needs to be.
Okay. Next up, these two leaders, they've never seen any play, I think. I actually never seen any of these play, or I've never played
Yeah,
against
they're
them.
both super unplayable.
Very unplayable, I think.
Very
They
unplayable.
have way better counterparts that do the same thing, but just better.
Yeah.
Blue Doffy,
Blue
one of your
Doflamingo.
favorite decks.
I was advocating people to play this for championships. It did not have the best conversion rate at Liverpool, 46%, and it's very
46%,
highly
yeah.
represented. I convinced a lot of people in at our locals to bring this to championships. Apologies to everyone that I convinced to play this deck, but
Do you think the deck is bad, or is just up to the pilot? Or is just
I
up to
think there were
luck?
just no good pilots playing at Liverpool. I will stand by it being a good deck. Um, like the deck is very strong, but I think it's quite punishing. Um, I would put it. I think it's definitely above Red Ring Law. Um, it gets a huge boost come to new structure deck as well.
Yeah. But do you think without the structure that it's meta defining?
If you asked me this 2 weeks ago, yes. After seeing the results, no. But I think like it gets to play some of the strongest cards in the game in 4 cost pudding, 6 cost red rock, and 7 cost gravity blade.
They're all strong
Um,
cards. And it can
miss
flood
that.
the board very fast.
Yeah, miss stacking your deck is still very very punishing. But I think a good player can definitely top a regional with it, and maybe even win a regional come to these structures.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I would just bundle
The
up
next,
Kaido and
yeah,
Crocodile.
the next 5 leaders up is
I think these decks have potential. Like Kaido can play again Black Maria and Onigashima. Like any deck that can play Onigashima, I think is pretty good. But the effect is
there's
so
no real
underwhelming.
reason. There's no real reason to play it over Purple Kaido.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Uh,
Yeah,
Crocodile,
I think all unplayable, right?
Crocodile just unplayable. King, this is probably one of the worst leaders in the game. I don't know why we would play this.
Onigashima. They can
Shanks.
play Onigashima.
Shanks. I would love this deck to be good, but it's just not. It's just not. Uh, Uta is probably the worst deck in the game. I think it's the worst deck in the game. Just
It wasn't even the boost like Vanilla's, right?
top one booster vanilla with 2k is basically one free don for a vanilla, which so bad.
That's a that's terrible. Terrible.
I don't think vanilla's like meta defining or just playable at all.
Yeah, it's just too slow.
I
If
think
it
built
gave it
around
rush
vanillas.
and plus power, maybe.
Hmm.
But yeah, leave it to the other Uta leaders. We
Yeah.
have enough of them.
Next up, we're going to
Whitebeard.
OP2.
Whitebeard.
Whitebeard.
Uh, I I think Whitebeard is really strong, but because there is a card called Pudding. Uh, this leader can never be the best deck. Um,
Yeah.
losing its stage like so early on in its lifespan is very damaging, and even if it comes back, I think the deck can't be the best deck either.
Yeah, a deck that plays like one guy per turn is so bad against like the top meta defining decks like Lucci and Bonnie.
It's one of those decks that's really obnoxious to play against, but once you know how to play against, I don't think it's the best. It can definitely steal some games here or there.
Basically a noob stomper.
Yeah. That, yeah, 100%. I would want to put this in potential tier.
Potential.
Potential, yeah.
Potential because the new starter deck.
Even before the new starter deck, I think it's good. The stuff in the starter deck it helps other decks more than it helps Whitebeard.
Do you think OP08 is better than Kaido or worse?
I don't think it's better than Kaido, but worse than Zoro.
Yeah.
It can definitely have like squeeze in one or two slots of a top cut here and there, but it's not going far in top cut.
Okay. Next up, Garp.
I'll be real, I have no idea what this leader does.
Garp, every time you attach a Don, you -1 to something.
Yeah, red and black just don't work together. It just doesn't work.
No, it doesn't work. I feel like it's not the shitest, but somewhere around here.
Kinemon.
Kinemon,
It's
mono green, and leader effect is just locked to Land of Wano.
it's definitely playable. I think there are definitely worse leaders out there.
It is playable with the new Hiyori from OP7. You can
Dawn
basically,
cheating is good,
yeah,
but
you can basically play a 5 cost on your 3 Dawn turn. But
yeah.
the thing is, there's no good 5 costs in green except, I guess, Secret Yamato
Wait,
from
what are you
OP1.
talking about? There's a lot of good 5 costing green. None of them are Landawano. But
That's
there's a lot
that's
of
why
good 5
that's what
costing
I'm
green.
saying.
Yeah, I think it's better than Kid actually. The structure deck Kid
Better than Structure the Kid.
better than structure deck Kid.
I wouldn't say so. I used to play this deck in OP2, and I tried to bring it back like later on, and it just wasn't working.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we can go ahead and stick at the bottom of playable. I think both of those are kind of at the bottom of playable, anyways.
Yeah. Sanji, another deck built around Baniwas.
Yeah, blue green is actually a really fun color combination. The 3 leaders we have are not the best. Actually, which one do you think is the best green blue leader?
Green blue, which one is it? Sanji.
Yeah, it's Sanji, Zoro-Sanji, and Rosinante.
Rosinante, ooh. No, I really like Zoro and Sanji, like the combos you can pull off. Sometimes if you get like the God Hand, are just impossible to play against. I think that's the best green blue leader right now.
I would have said Rosinante. I was a big fan of that deck when it came out.
Rosinante is. We'll get to
Blocker
that.
on
We'll
leader.
get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to it. But Sanji's unplayable.
Sanji unplayable. Ivankov.
Actually, I'm curious what your thoughts on Ivankov. Might be a bit different from mine.
For me,
I played against one today.
For me, it's actually really scary to play on such low hand. If you can pull off the Ivankov Inazuma combo, I feel like it's pretty strong. Like if you can pull it off consistently. But the thing about this deck is you need to top deck a lot. You need a lot of luck.
Yeah, you can play cards like Corona and Blocker Dolphy, right, to kind of stack your deck in the way you draw.
Yeah, that's true.
Seven cost Ivankov into the Inazuma is very scary.
It's very scary. Like 7 cost Ivankov into anything.
Yeah, I would want to put this in Rogue.
In
Rogue. I think this deck is really good.
Yeah, not many people have played against it, so it can catch a lot of people off guard.
I think the thing with a lot of these old leaders is that a lot of the players aren't going back to try them. I think Ivankov definitely has potential, but I could see it winning like store championships and stuff. You can definitely high roll. You can definitely high roll some people in like a lower round event.
Definitely. Magellan, I think this deck is unplayable right now because you can stick any of the Magellan deck lists onto any other purple deck leader and it still work.
Yeah, purple Luffy is just a better mono purple deck, right?
But
Magellan's unplayable.
Zephyr. See Zephyr with the new Black Maria. I've seen some lists. It's actually really, really interesting. It's like, what is this? Like Don minus 4k or 3 or less. I feel like purple and black is it's kind of alright.
I mean, there is just a new purple-black leader. There's no real reason to play this,
That's true.
but I think it's definitely better than the unplayable decks.
It's definitely better
Um,
than the like Magellan and Garp
yeah.
and Sanji from the same set.
Do you think
But
it's better than Ken and Kinemon though?
no,
No. Maybe bottom of playable, just barely playable.
barely
Barely
playable.
playable.
Like the deck is fun, and it being film, it can run some film cards. You know,
Yeah, you love your film cards.
I love my film cards. Next up,
Smoker.
Smoker. I remember this back in OP2. Like it was the meta-defining deck. But
I
right
think
now,
it can do stuff without even without the new structures. I think Black got a lot of good tools this set.
yeah, but basically you can stick 8 cost more into any black deck and it's gonna be viable, right?
I think with Smoker, because it's 5 life, you might even have room to play the new 9 cost Kaido.
Yeah, 9 cost Kaido
Um,
seems good.
yeah, trash the leader, trash a card. Like even, the new Jack is really strong as well. I know some people were trying to make this work for Liverpool as well, but
Mm-hmm.
it was a bit hard.
Yeah, see, before the starter X comes out, how do you think Smoker uh
Um,
is next to like other mono black leaders like Lucian Moria?
I'm a big hater of Moria, so I hate Moria. I think that deck just doesn't do anything. But I would want to put this in Rogue probably.
In Rogue,
In Rogue,
you think it's better than Kid?
I think it's way better than Kid.
Alright.
I don't think you can high roll on Smoker like you can on the Vanguard, but I think it's a more consistent deck. I would want to put it above Ivankov probably.
Hmm. Yeah, cost reduction on leader is always gonna be strong. Because you can learn
Yeah.
all the popping and just the leader can do the work.
Yep.
Let's see that. Black Sakazuki
Yeah.
starter deck. Go straight to the side.
Straight to unplayable. Unplayable.
Yeah. Okay.
Ace.
Mono red ace.
OP03. It's like
Mm,
Ace is like doing what Shanks is going to do in OP09, but a lot worse.
yeah. What do you?
I always have in my mind that Ace can attack for some reason, but it can.
It can attack, especially with the 7 cost flame emperor event. That shit is scary.
Double attack.
Yeah, but how do you
Uh,
think it fares up the new White Bee Pirates leader?
I mean, Marco's not exactly the greatest leader, but Ace is it's better. Marco's definitely better, but Ace is more consistent, I would say. So I would probably it's better than Kids, and it's probably better than Smoker.
I don't think it goes up to Rogue though.
You don't think it's better than Smoker?
No.
Mm.
Like a deck that runs mostly events and remember the starter decks still not come out.
Yeah, maybe at the bottom of Rogue.
Yeah.
I could see it like doing some things.
To be honest, I've not seen much about this leader, so I can't really say.
Yeah, I think that it could potentially do something.
Mhm.
Not enough people are testing it, but I think that leader is still somewhat okay.
Kuro. We've had some
Kuro.
people play Kuro in our locals.
Yeah, we have a big Kuro player at our locals. But I don't exactly think this deck is the greatest.
Yeah.
The restand event, I'm Invincible esque event can catch some people off guard,
Yeah.
but it's
Also the
play it top.
restand 5 cost character.
Yeah, maybe top of playable,
Top
but
of level.
no more than that. Yeah,
It's like kinda rushy, but if you're against a removal deck, this deck cannot do anything.
yeah, top of playable.
Top of level. Arwong. I was a really huge fan of Arwong when it came out. And
Uh,
all the playable stuff he got from OP6, it just made the deck better.
yeah, it's moved on from being like this Big Mom Pirates esque deck.
Yeah, it runs
Green
mostly
green
landed
yellow
mono.
is probably is a really fun color combination, but I don't think it's got the right leaders for that deck to work. It needs like a more durable leader, so
I feel
you
like
can play
the
some
only
of the nice high ends that green has.
I feel like the only problem with this leader is it runs out of steam too fast because it plays from hand.
Yeah, it's
It
compared
has
to like Doffy, it's just not good enough.
yeah, I still think that it's better than Kuro.
Playable. I think it's better than Ivankov even.
Better than Ivankov.
Better than Ivankov.
Right.
Nami.
Nami, the bane of my existence.
This is the deck I learned the game on. This deck was great. It's fun. It's a fun deck. It's a stun deck.
Yeah, it's basically
What's not
a
to love,
single
right?
player deck.
Yeah, what's not to love about Solitaire? As a Yu-Gi-Oh player, I love Solitaire.
Yeah, I hate that I have to put this deck at the top. Alright, here is the first deck at the top.
Absolutely, this deck is great.
This deck,
I think
especially in this slow meta, it just thrives.
I think this deck can even go back to playing like maybe some of them of Red Rocket Grav Blades if the meta is that slow. But I remember a couple sets back, it was running 4 Grav Blades in the deck,
Wow.
and yeah, it was so good. But I hope that deck does see a lot of success. It is one of my favorites.
I hope it doesn't. Next up, Iceberg.
Iceberg. That deck is good, you know, like the Khalifa that I got from last set, but I don't think I got any new tools. The
Khalifa
Khalifa
and
being the
Bruno that can play from trash is absolutely
yeah,
insane.
it's like infinite resources, but you know, leaders that can't attack is a big drawback. But this is, I think, it's probably one of the. I would say it's one of the worst ones that can't attack.
I feel like it's one of the best ones that can attack. The
Really,
pace that you can put out so many 5-cost bodies is just insane. And on top of that, you can
yeah.
play stuff like 9-cost Kaido, and you have the stage like Onigashima, but for Iceberg.
Would you play the new 10 cost Kaido Linen? Do you think?
If you're brave enough, yes.
It's maybe too slow for Iceberg.
10-cost Mama Kaido is just basically 9-cost Zoro. If it sticks, you win the game.
You need to ramp like very very fast.
I mean, Black
But
Maria
I'm
is
not.
here.
Well, Black Maria doesn't. It's not actual ramp. It's fake ramp.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would.
But it will help with your leader ability and your Dom minus shenanigans.
You Rogue in Rogue, top of Rogue, bottom of Rogue,
I feel like it's gonna be top of Rogue.
top of Rogue.
Yeah,
Oh, you have a.
we had some
Go
players
on.
in our locals that are trying to build Iceberg, trying to cook Iceberg. Shout out to Adam.
Yeah, you have a lot of hope in that leader.
I
I don't.
I have a lot of hope in that leader, so I'll
But
put it in
that's it.
top
I
of
do
Rogue.
think it is actually better than Smoker. Like even like the Rogue decks are still kind of bad. Like just looking at it, at all of them. Lucci.
Rob Lucci OP3.
There's no reason to play the leader, but I think the leader is still okay.
It's basically the more aggressive version of the
Erdor,
OP7
right?
version.
You get to play Erdor in this deck.
Yeah, you get to play Erdor.
Erdor usually plays out of Spandam. When I use it anyway, it plays out of Spandam for 4 Dawn. Um, it's good. I think it's better than Smoker.
Yeah.
There's no reason to play the leader, but it's still a pretty good leader.
It used to be better than Smoker, and I still think it is better than Smoker.
Yeah, I think it's better than Smoker.
Before the
Like by
starter
far.
X, I think it's like this, but after, I think Smoker just rises up.
Yeah, it gets a lot of tools.
Black Hero, Charlotte Linden.
This is like one of those decks that I tried to make work a while back. It just it doesn't do anything. It poured on to heal 1 when you're like low, it's way too much. If it were 3, you can maybe drop like a 7 mom, but I think 4 is way too much.
Yeah, the cost for the leader effect is also.
Yeah, the lead, yeah, that's what I mean. Like the leader effect is way too much.
Yeah, and for a 4-life leader.
Yeah. Black yellow could be good, like the color combination, but there's just the 2 leaders that we have. One is this one, which is unplayable, and the other black yellow leader just. Kiro's wasn't designed properly, I think. Oh yeah, of course, black yellow Luffy just was. It's his own thing.
But Black Yellow Luffy neither plays like yellow deck or a black deck, so I think
it's his own thing. Lilin, I think it's like top of playable. Maybe even like middle or rogue, probably worse than Smoker, better than Arlong.
I don't think this deck goes to rogue. I think probably top of playable.
I mean, Icy's Gadatsu is a pretty good combo.
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe I think it's better than Arlong. Maybe we have Arlong too high, but any deck that can play 10 cost Big Mom is pretty good, right?
Any deck that can play 10 cost Big Mom, it costs more rage. Just
it's pretty good, right? Yeah. And then Katakuri,
the man.
a great deck in the past.
Actually,
it's got the highest win rate on the sim, right?
For a while it did, not anymore. I think.
Yeah. Noob Stomper deck.
It is a Noob Stomper deck.
Easy to pilot, plays 10 drop.
What else?
And this, I could see it topping a regional with the Namis. I think. Do you think it does okay in the Bonnie?
I don't think any yellow deck does good against green. I feel like green has so much answers for yellow, especially 8 cost Kit, 10 cost Doffy, and just Bonnie does everything like of that, but like times 10.
But 10 mons back to back hurts, right?
10 mon back to back hurts, like definitely, but realistically, will you see 10 to 10 mom, back to 10 mom, back to 10 mom, back to 10 mom?
If it's my opponent, then yeah. I don't think this. I think this deck is worse than Doffy, better than Law. Yeah. Just because it has the potential to just completely high roll you.
Yeah, if this deck was more consistent, then I would actually put it up here. But
yeah, unfortunately,
the way it is now, I would put it like
Blade Slice is really good for the deck, but I think losing Reject hurt way too much.
Definitely. But 5 cost leader, 5 life leader, with that can play 10 mom.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, one of your favorite decks.
I played this the other week. Apparently it beats Enel. Apparently it beats Enel on black decks, but I think there's enough good triggers in the game where stacking it just felt useless. Like playing this deck just feels like I'm using the leader to do nothing. Like I use the leader effect like once or twice per game.
Yeah,
you're at a high life. You're always at a high life point.
Draw a card of your life.
Yeah, no, it doesn't even draw a card. It's good when you're putting like Katakuri's your Katakuri in the life, so you can grab the Katakuri back and play it again.
Yeah.
But I would actually say this is better than Black Yellow Linen. But like it's you can debate it either way.
Like I said, 5 life leader can play 10 mom.
Yeah, it's good, but there's no reason to play the deck when Katakuri exists.
Would you say it's better than the Black Yellow? I would kind of like put them the
same. They actually do play very different. Like the Black Yellow Linen, I remember that I played like 6 cost Sakazuki, like it played like ICH Gadatsu, and it didn't play like any of the 7 moms or anything. They are very different decks, but I do think yellow, the mono yellow, just slightly beats it. Okay. Speaking of unplayable deck, here's two more of them.
2 more of them. The original Black Luffy starter deck.
Yeah, when you KO something attached onto your leader. I guess like the 10 cost Kuzan plus 9 cost Shanks across 2 turns is a neat combo, but it's just not good enough.
By the time you get to that point, I think you're dead. Unless you
If you can play a 10 drop, you're just dead. There's a better mono black Luffy leader that's newer.
That just
Yeah.
stopped the regionals.
Yeah, surprisingly, I think it was like some like 5 slots in Top Cut,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
which is
I didn't
like
expect that.
nor did I. The second most represented leader in Top Cut of championship finals is crazy. Yeah,
Especially for a
like
deck that just came out.
yeah, but this one unplayable.
This one, yeah,
Yamato just as bad, unplayable.
I should put it like
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's unplayable.
okay, we're going
OP04.
to OP4.
OP04 is one of my favorite sets when it comes to leader all arts, but the quality of leaders in this set are not great.
Yeah. Vivi, we had some Vivi representative at our locals, but
Uh, it's not good.
yeah,
I don't.
it's not good. It could snatch a few wins here and there, but I don't think this would ever top originals.
Actually, I played against Vivi first round of a Treasure Cup actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like one of the online Treasure Cups. Like round one, I played against it. It didn't do anything.
Yeah, I don't think it does anything. Like
I
leaders
think
that
like
can attack.
he was playing like the Marco package with like Marjorie's as well,
Hmm.
with like the high end being 10 cost Shanks. He played 4 10 cost Shanks on me and still lost the game.
Yeah, that
Like
that
this
says
leader just
everything
doesn't do
about the
anything.
leader.
Yeah, 10 cost Shanks, crazy card. When you play 4 of it and still lose, I think the deck's just garbage. Maybe better than Kuro.
Hmm.
Yeah, drawing a card every turn is good.
And giving a rush. Like sometimes you just need
The
rush cards.
the rush never really comes up, I think, but yeah, playable, I guess.
Doffy.
Doflamingos. This gets to play one of my favorite cards, Birdcage.
First
Uh,
cage, another stun deck.
Another stun deck. But with Law gone, there's no. The Birdcage doesn't do anything anymore.
Yeah, this is a big boy meta.
Well, I mean, like back in OP05 when Birdcage came out, I think. Like I was playing, there was a lot of high end in that deck that I played. There was like Douglas Bullet. There was like 9 cost Kaido, 8 cost Kid, 10 cost Offies,
Mhm.
7 cost Kids. But it loses to like stuff that just rushes you down because you're 4 life.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
trying to be a stun deck while you're 4 life is just it just does not feel good.
You need to run a lot of events to make up for the leader effect as well. So
Yeah, you have a lot of counterpart. Like the leader effect just feels like there's no leader effect there sometimes.
yeah.
Like it feels so bricky because you can like at most you can run 8 2Ks because you have to run like multiple events. And I think the Don Quixote family second wave of support, it wasn't done very well. Like a lot of the cards just weren't great.
Mm-hmm. Could put it at probably at like the middle of
Playable?
playable.
No, I would put it higher.
Higher.
I think I would put it higher. Like maybe just after the 2 Linlands.
Think it's sneaking roll. Oh.
I think like with like there's a lot of 5 costs in this meta, right? Like with the new leaders, there's a lot of 5 drops.
There's a lot of 5 drops, but there's a lot of like over 5 drops as well.
Like I could never see this making a top cut of a regional, but like it could steal a few games here and there.
Yeah, definitely.
Like if I lost to this deck at an event, I'd be fuming, but I wouldn't be too surprised.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on the deck, but yeah, I think it's okay.
Isho. Red, green, black Isho.
That's unplayable, right? It's like
There's
dawn times
another
one,
green,
give
black
everything
deck that
minus
just
one.
does it so much better.
They do different things. I think green black doesn't really work that well together, but Perona has a strong effect. So
Perona has the stronger cards, yeah.
yeah, he's unplayable.
Show you something. Yeah.
Unplayable. Rebecca. I think Rebecca is the best leader that cannot attack.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's just due to the color combination, blue black. I think it's the strongest color combination in the game.
Yeah, it's Saka's definitely more aggressive, but like you can do some stupid stuff with Rebecca. Like you can. There's the new event that just heals you for one, the 3-cost event.
Yeah, and with the 7-cost Luffy, you can just cycle it back.
Yeah, like just win in time, right? You could just win in time, leave 9 down up, use 3 events, heal for 3.
Yeah, stack them again, draw them.
Once 10-cost Kuzan hits the field in Rebecca, I think the game is over if it can stick.
If it can stick, then Rebecca has answers for absolutely everything. 7-cost Aramaki also is very good.
Aramaki costs 8, by the way, not 7.
Yeah, or 8-cost, okay.
I think like Rebecca is like it's a really, really hard deck to pilot. But if you can get the right pilot, I do believe this deck can do something.
I feel like this deck can actually top original.
I think so. If you have the right pilot, I would put this very, very top of Rogue.
Top
no,
Rogue.
not that. Yeah, top of Rogue.
I feel like you could top original, but I would put it at the bottom of potential.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah. Queen.
It does what NL does, but worse.
Very much worse. It has the access to all the good blue cards.
But... yeah, blue yellow again. I think is very strong color combination. It just doesn't exactly have the best leaders. I think the other blue yellow leader is just better.
Ace.
Ace, yeah, I think Ace is just better.
Yeah, definitely.
Queen is like nowadays I don't see it topping a regional. But I would put it somewhere in Rogue, maybe like.
I feel like it could steal some games. Yeah, I feel like it could steal.
Beside, yeah, just under the linens.
Crocodile.
This deck, I think this deck is really good.
Yeah, this deck has probably has access to probably one of the most broken cards in the game. You know what card I'm thinking of, right?
Okama-Way, right?
Okama-Way.
If your last life is Kikunojo and you have an Okama-Way, you heal another one, right?
Yeah, it basically stops an attack, heal.
And then it's like 2 extra lives.
It's so good. And it works very well with the leader ability.
But I don't think this deck can top regional.
It cannot top originals, no, but I feel like it could catch a lot of people off guard. Especially people that don't know the deck list.
Yeah, yellow high ends is just insane. Like Okama-Way is another very much insane card.
Yeah. The purple side
just ramps.
Yeah. No,
but I think pudding is just better as like the leader.
Yeah, the new pudding leader definitely.
Yeah, I would want to put it at the very, very top of Rogue.
The very top of Rogue.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's better than Iceberg by like a country mile.
Yeah, definitely. But it doesn't have potential to be like one of the best things.
Yeah.
Red Purple Luffy.
I think this deck could top a regional.
This deck had a lot of representative at the championship just now.
Yeah, I think pulling up this. Did any make top cut?
I'm not sure.
ST10. I don't believe any made top cut actually. But pulling up the stats, it's 17 players that played it.
17.
Yeah. What do you think the win rate is for that deck?
If you said no one topped, I would say like 44%.
41.5.
41.5, damn.
Yeah, it was miserable, but I think the deck it has a lot of good high ends now.
Yeah, like it will only get better from now on.
You have Dragon, you have Shanks. I think this is one of the decks that could actually play Big Mom Kaido. Because how fast you ramp and you're
definitely.
AK leader. I would put it somewhere near the top. Not like regional winning, but somewhere in potential probably.
I feel like this deck has potential.
I think it's better than Kaido. It loses to the Kaido, but I think it's better than Kaido.
I've seen the combos like Gear 5, take an extra turn, play Black Maria, and you're back. You can play another Gear 5 next turn. It's
Yeah.
just dumb.
It's one of the only decks that can play the turn skip Gear 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can definitely catch you off guard.
It will only get better, like I said. OP9, it just becomes absolutely broken.
The
New law.
errated law. Unplayable, playable.
I think it's very much unplayable. This deck just got
I
so
mean,
nerfed.
even if you are removing your own stuff, I think it's still playable. Like if you look at some of the unplayable decks, they're like really, really unplayable. Like it might be bad, but I think it's playable.
I think it becomes playable like in OP9 when it has more stuff to play out. But for now, it has like what 2 or 3 targets to play out leader. I think it's very
You
underwhelming.
have like what? You have Beppo, you have like Sachi Penguin,
And Jambart, and that's
which
it.
is, but they're like they ramp, right? Which they ramp you back to Dawn.
They do.
I
Yeah.
would put it in like very very bottom. Actually, above Zeph, above Zephyr,
Above Zephyr.
above Zephyr.
You're a
Maybe
Zephyr
actually
fan.
maybe even above Kinemon. Now that I look at it,
I
above
would put it
Kinemon.
above Kinemon, yeah.
Yeah, above Kinemon, and that is like as far as I would go.
Do you think Kit is better
SC10
though?
Kit.
I feel like
I'm
Kit
a
is
hater.
better.
I'm a hater. I think this deck is bad.
Kit
Compared to the new
has.
law, it's an aggro deck, right? Maybe it's just slightly better for now, but only just for now.
The thing that makes the deck like actually playable is the 5-cost kit that gives back a Dawn after you minus. And OP8 has a new pudding, the 3-cost pudding, that does the exact same thing. So
Yeah.
it allows
No,
the deck
the
to
pudding
go a
ramps
lot more
rested, right?
aggressive. Yeah, but it still gives back the Dawn.
Yeah.
Which allows the deck to go like more aggressive in the beginning.
Yeah.
Because she's a 3-cost.
I think it's maybe better than Green Kids, but worse than Kuro.
I would actually put it in Rogue.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
You're a believer.
I'm a believer. I believe in the kit agenda.
We'll see. As it stands in this set, maybe not. I think like eventually this deck gets enough support, but
OP9, this
yeah,
deck
we
gets a
can
lot of
stay.
support.
Yeah, OP9 it does. Now that I look at it, I kind of want to move up Purple Croc.
Purple Crocodile?
Purple Crocodile from. It's an unplayable.
Ah. This one.
No. The like mono Purple Croc. I think mono Purple Croc has its merits actually.
Mono Purple Crocodile.
No, sorry, not purple. What am I talking about? Blue. Mono
Yeah,
blue.
okay.
Mono blue.
I was gonna
Mono
say.
blue. Mono blue. I kind of want to move it up in front of the new law.
In front of the new law.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the deck can like you can. There's the blocker Missile Sunday that like adds back any blue event from Crash.
Yeah.
And then like you can get to play cards like Soga King and like you can
There's
do
the new
funky
5-cost Mr. 1 that for every like 2 events in your trash against 1k. So in the late
yeah,
game it becomes a big boy.
you have like funky stuff like 9-cost Sanji into like a Mihawk, obviously, but yeah, I think it's became
Alright.
it's playable. New Luffy, unplayable.
Promo Luffy.
Unplayable.
Just worse
It's Boa
Ivankov.
but worse. Boa but worse. I would compare it to Boa.
I would compare it to Ivankov because they both play at low hand.
Yeah.
But it just
Well, it has similar effects, right? It's like when you remove a character, draw a card if you have 3 or less cards.
no, when attacking, if you have 3 or less cards, draw one.
Oh, that's even worse than I thought.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's so bad.
It's just better mono blue leaders.
Yeah, the mono blue leaders in this game is actually kind of cracked. Sabo.
OP5. What do you think about Sabo?
There's a couple ways you can build them, right?
Yeah.
There's like you can try to play the removal build, or you can try to play the aggro Rev Army build.
There's also the defensive build with like a lot of blockers, like the Kidnap blocker.
Yeah, the deck is like kind of confused on what it wants to do. Like red black just does not work together. You can play Gecko Moria, but it's Moria play out Borsellino, play out like
Kidding
I
Killer?
don't know some random. Kid and Killer. You can play out like what a Nami
Karasu?
searcher,
Karasu?
the Rev Army searcher. Yeah, I don't think your Moria is like so weak.
Your Mori is weak, so you have to play like some of
It's
the stuff.
the deck's playable, but like it's barely playable.
That is definitely better Revolutionary Army leaders.
Yeah,
I would put it like top of playable.
top of playable. You think it's better than Vivi?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, actually, now that I think about it.
I feel like it's worse than Kuro.
Worse than Kuro. No, I feel like the
Yeah.
leader ability is very strong in this removal meta as well.
It's Dawn times 1 gives something minus. Yeah, gives
It's
something minus
basically
1k power.
everything is a Hawkins on your board, right?
If you squint hard enough. Yeah. If you really squint hard enough. Bell Betty.
Bell Betty, the ultimate
This deck
aggro
had
deck.
really high. Yeah, this deck actually had really high win rates on the sim as well.
Yeah. I feel like if this deck was consistent enough, like every time, it can be the best deck in the game.
If you have 4 triggers in life every single time,
Yeah, exactly.
it's the best deck in the game.
If Ivankov doesn't miss
like,
a Karasu.
it had like really high win rates on the sim,
It did.
which is like surprising.
Like trash a card for like 9 ton worth of like attack power. Oofed.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
all the
put it
Rev
in
Army
high
cards
rogue.
are like very strong. It's just this deck
Yeah.
runs out of steam.
Arisu kind of carries it, but
Karasu
yeah,
and
I
then
would
Ivankov.
yeah, I would put this topper rogue under
Um,
Crocodile, maybe
I feel like it's above Crocodile.
above Crocodile. I feel like the win rate that it has is, I think it's mainly because it's because people who play it are like really good with the deck. But I think you're underestimating Crocodile a lot. I think that leader is insane. Okamoe,
Oh, come
it's a
on, hey.
great card. It's a great card.
Yeah, I just don't feel like Crocodile can deal with big bosses like as good. Well,
Yeah,
Bell Betty just
yeah,
denies you the
yeah.
turn that you can play them.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's a faster deck. It can definitely rush you down. Rosinante. This leader is insane. I think it's the best leader in the game.
Okay.
No. That's so you can play going second, right? This is like best case scenario. You play out like a green searcher, right? You play it, you search, right? Whatever. Drop a 2k. On your opponent's 3-drop turn, they play a 3-drop, swing 5 of the searcher, you block 1k.
Yeah.
Next turn, you can search, and you can play another searcher. You can just keep playing searchers, right?
Okay, a 4-cost Lucci would like to have a word with you.
Look, if they want to play Lucci on 5 Dawn in the early game to remove 2 searchers, then so be it, right? It's worth.
You would be surprised. You would be surprised. As a Bonnie player, I can tell you that this happens a lot.
But they're putting this deck when it first came out did what Bonnie does now.
Yeah,
it just plays like
if
a
you
big
squint hard enough.
Yeah, if you squint hard enough. Also, it's blue, so
yeah.
Everything
that's blue that can play Pudding and Gravity Blade is automatically.
I want to defend this deck. I think it's topper rogue.
I feel like this deck is probably the best deck that can play it cause Kit.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, 8 cost Kit is just strong, but I don't think in this meta 8 cost Kit just stays on the board for more than.
I remember playing this deck when it came out, and then I got hit with the 5-cost Rush Luffy from the structure deck, and it was the worst day of my life.
So
I blocked with leader and it just popped my 8-cost kid. It was horrible. I want to put this topper rogue. I think this deck it's like maybe not very, maybe worse than Crocodile.
You're believing a lot in this deck.
It's a good deck.
Sure, but
yeah, like look at what else is in that tier, right? Like Smoker, like what's Smoker gonna do?
Yeah, definitely. I can see this in the same tier as Smoker. What do you think about Promo Saka?
It does what the old Saka does, but it's bricky. I think the new E-cost bow is really good for that leader.
6 cost boy.
You can 6 cost Boa. You can like remove something and you can like free something to deal with the next turn. So like on your 7 Dawn, you can Ice Age something and then bottom deck it and then free something else. And then your next turn, you can Ice Age something and freeze another thing.
Yeah, basically, if you see your cards, this deck is still as good as old Saka.
Yeah. The problem is like you can't play Lucci in this deck anymore because you can't really build up your trash consistently.
You still play
Maybe
Mono, though.
this deck definitely still has legs, but you can definitely get rushed down because like I remember playing this and sitting like 8 cards in hand with like 1k worth of counter.
Do you think this deck is playable?
Maybe worse than Iceberg, but I think like blue black is still insane, right?
Blue black is always gonna be good.
Yeah, better than Rosinante, worse than Iceberg.
Yeah, if it sees the right cards and the pilot is good, I think the deck is like decent.
Yeah, I think we actually find like a decent list for it. 4 cost your Hoshi blocker from the structure deck is like more copies of Rebecca, but the deck can't really play Moria that well nowadays either, which is kind of sad. But you can still like go Searcher, the Searcher, and the Searcher, and like Houndblaze is still very much a scary card.
Oh, I don't want to deal with that again. Mono Purple Luffy from OP05. I can say a lot of stuff about this because I just lost to like 3 of these purple Luffys back in championships like this weekend.
I played against this deck as Enel the other week. I have 4 pages in my life. It was pretty good. Shout outs to her if hopefully it happens again.
Yeah, Magellan, I turned to bane of my existence.
Magellan's so gross. Like it just puts you back so far, and like once it's there, it's functioning there forever now unless you're blue. It's also getting destructured deck. I think
this deck has a lot of potential, and I can actually see it like top originals. I don't know what the win rate was
in its current state. I don't think it can win in its current state though. The win rate there was 15 players in Liverpool that played it.
Yeah.
The win rate was 41%.
41%. That's what it's at.
41%. Yeah, it's a lot lower than what you think, but I don't think it's right for the current meta. The deck is strong. You can definitely win like the store championship with it, but no way you're topping a regional with that deck.
But I would still put it like potential. Like this deck.
Yeah, that definitely in potential. I think it's better than Whitebeard.
It's definitely better than Whitebeard, I think.
Yeah, not as good as Zoro, but
not yet.
Not yet. Enel.
And now
my most played deck.
Your most played deck.
The past while.
What do you say about this deck in OP8?
In OP8, I think it was bad in OP7. In OP8, it didn't really get any new tools. Like the deck list is still functionally the exact same. But you have like worse matchups now. Like Pudding will just absolutely ruin your day. I think Kagara will also ruin your day as well. I think. And you're still losing to like all the green leaders as well. Like you're losing to Lucci, you're losing to Bonnie, you're losing to like the blue decks with Pudding. Like
you think it loses to Carrot?
Carrot. Maybe not to Carrot. I think the deck will be Carrot. If Carrot can like the Carrot deck doesn't really have room to play like 9-cost Zoro. If it teched to beat Enel, it can definitely beat Enel. But yeah, I think Carrot doesn't have the same matchup Bonnie does. I think Enel it's a noob stomper deck.
It's the ultimate stomper deck, yeah.
If you are better than your opponent, you will crush them. If you're worse than your opponent, or if you have a bad matchup, or even if you're even on skill level, you will just lose miserably.
Nah, I think blue decks just makes you cry.
But yeah, Pudding and Red Rocks is so gross. I would still think this is like meta defining, like maybe at the bottom.
The bottom of meta defining.
The bottom of meta defining. Because like it's a deck that you have to prepare for.
Yeah.
But if you prepare for it, you'll beat it. If you don't prepare for it, you'll lose it. It's one of those decks.
Yeah, you need to know the matchup basically.
Yeah, Enel is a bad player's worst nightmare. If you're a bad player, you will lose to this deck every single time.
Next up, Star Trek 11 Green Uta.
This Uta also had like really high win rates on the sim.
I think it was just one player that had like an enormously high win rate.
Yeah, I feel like this deck, people were trying it as like a counter to Rob Lucci post ban, and the deck doesn't get any new tools in OP08
Yet, we're just waiting for the starter deck.
Yeah, the new Shanks is just generically good green support as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this deck definitely in potential somewhere.
Yeah, the new starter deck just makes it so much more consistent because I've seen the builds that play like 100% Fume Engine, so that your leader ability never misses.
Yeah, I'm invincible. Just still catches people off guard.
I'm Invincible is probably one of the most broken cards.
I mean, Kuro has one.
Yeah, but
But it's Kuro.
but it's Kuro. And
Yeah.
I think Utek has one of the best search elements as well. Like free search.
Free search, but it's top 3. You can miss.
Not
I
in
always
this
miss
deck.
with that event. Yeah, I always miss with it.
I feel like this deck has a lot of potential.
Yeah.
I'll put it above Zora.
No way. No way. Above Luffy, but I think under Zoro.
Alright.
Yeah, it's just like the new Animal Zoro is still. I think it's very, very good.
Rorono's Zoro and Sanji.
Zoro and Sanji. Actually, this deck had a reasonably high win rate on the sim, but I think it's fan base, right?
Yeah, I feel like the combos you can pull off with this are just insane.
If you can hit the combo every single time, this is a good deck. However, it's like 9 times out of 10, this deck does nothing.
Most of the time, you just brick with like 2 cost characters that are like 2Ks.
Yeah, you'll get like if you can play 9 cost Sanji into 9 cost Zoro, then so be it, right? But maybe bottom of Rogue at a push.
Like, I wouldn't put it bottom of Rogue. I would put it like over here.
Top of Rogue. I mean,
Yeah.
I've not even touched the deck.
The deck can
it's
very aggro. It's very aggro.
I don't think it's better than Saka.
You'll be surprised.
You'll be
surprised. Green, blue.
Green. The color combination is just too bad, I think.
I mean, it doesn't play like a green blue deck. It just plays like a Zoro deck, to be honest. Just go face.
Yeah, it just goes face. Like those decks, they're just better options, I think.
Better options.
And like
everything
cards,
that just goes face is just better.
Your cards don't have rush, which like in this format it just gets like removed so quick.
That's true.
I think it's 100% worse than Sakazuki.
Output is here still.
Okay.
Okay, OP6. Let's go. One of the leaders that I really want to make it work, but it's just not happening. It's just not happening.
Resident Uta Enjoyer.
Yeah, average Uta Enjoyer. Yeah, I'm sad that I'll have to put this like. No, I'm not putting it there. I'll put it like over here.
The problem is like you're the being for life, and you want to get to the end game is
you trash a card for your leader effect, so you. You're amp fast, but
the high ends are good. You have like access to guild, right, which is the Khalifa for the deck.
Guild is always really good.
But that's like the only great card that deck has. You're red, purple, Luffy, but you're 5k. Is how I kind of see that leader.
Yeah, basically, yeah. I don't think that the leader ability synergizes very well. Like the minus 2k, you don't see that often.
10 cost X can pop anything with Vita, right? Because you give something minus 2.
If you can get to 10 cost chance, yeah.
If you survive that long, yeah. Okay, next.
Hody Jones.
I've never seen this leader played like in my life.
I've seen it played. I played against this as Bonnie, and it was the most miserable day of my life. because this deck absolutely destroys Bonnie.
But I feel like this deck is pretty unplayable. The Fishman support wasn't like amazing. I
5
remember opening boxes of the set and opening like multiples of this alt art. It was so sad.
5-life leader can play Cody Jones without taking a life?
But there are better mono green leaders. Like even like I think Structure Deck Kid is better than this leader.
Mm,
Because Structure Deck Kid can play like Cavendish as well, right?
yeah, definitely.
Where Holy Jones is like way more aggressive.
Cody Jones can storm the board and has access to 9 Zoro. Like, what else can I say?
It loses to black a lot.
It loses to black, but I feel like it's just a rogue deck that can KO like some of the like leaders like Bonnie.
Yeah. Maybe
And actually
just above
black KO Luffy.
Doflamingo, maybe? Put it slightly above Dofi, maybe?
Where is Dolphin?
Maybe even above Queen.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's there. It can maybe steal some games if the player's bad enough.
Next up,
Perona.
This is probably the best green black leader. That is, it just
I mean, there's only one other alternative, right?
yeah.
The deck definitely has legs, right? Like you can. Your Moria is like. Actually, your Moria is kind of weak, but you have access to like 9 cost Zoro, 8 cost Sabo, and like all the generic good stuff. There's the 1 cost event that draws you 2.
Yeah, Rima is very strong in this deck as well.
If you don't see Rima in this deck, I think the game is basically over.
Yeah, basically. But with the amount of draw this deck has, like you
You have
definitely
8 searchers and 4 cards that draw.
Yeah, basically. And Moria just recycles them all.
It also kind of counters like a lot of some meta decks as well.
Yeah, I just lost to a Perona in championships.
Yeah,
I think Pan lost as well as Rob Lucci.
Well, we all know your championship experience was a bit miserable.
Yeah, we don't talk about my championship experience.
Yeah, skill issue. I think like in the new meta, like it kind of beats Zoro, it beats Chopper, it beats Kara. Like you can even beat Kagara because there's a lot of 4-drops in that deck.
Even if they're not 4-drops, just Ice Age, everything becomes a 4-drop.
Yeah, somewhere in potential probably. If you scroll up.
Yeah, it definitely has potential.
Maybe bet just in front of Kaido, I think. I know there's like a lot of diehard Perona fans, but
I would actually put it above Newgate.
Whitebeard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a strong deck. You get to play like 5 cost Yamato as well, right? The secret from OP08.
Yeah, if that sticks on board.
Double attack. Yeah, double attack banish.
Yeah.
If it sticks, it's kind of like you get so much advantage, but it's hard in this meta. Yamato
OP6.
This deck was like great in its format where everything was 4 life, but because we're in a 5 life format, I think this leader is kind of mid. I don't see it topping a regional anytime soon.
I think it's very underwhelming. Double attack is good, but is it that good in this meta? With a lot of 5 life leaders?
Yeah, because it's 5 life, and the overall like power creep of the game has just gone up, and like it was good against Sakazuki before, but it's kind of fallen off.
Definitely. Like I don't see this top in originals. I would put it like top of rock, like better than Battle Betty.
I actually think this is. I want to say it's better than Rebecca, actually. Yeah, I would say it's better than Rebecca. Because
Yeah, I can see it.
You can still play like the Sky Island package, and you can still swarm the board really quick, right?
Yeah, that
you still have the for 3 Dawn, you have Mihawk into into Holly.
Yeah, and you get the 2 rested on as well.
Yeah.
Rage.
Yeah. There's a lot of hype behind this leader.
I mean, now that Red Purple Law is gone, and this deck is no longer gate kept.
Yeah, like the Porsche build is really good, but I think this leader has like it just has a problem against 5 life leaders. It was what I think it was like the 3rd or 4th most represented deck in the last championship, but it had like the worst win rate in like the top 6 decks.
Yeah.
Like, I think this deck is a bait.
The thing about this is, you see ECG, you win. You don't see ECG, you don't.
You need to see more than one ECG in this deck to win as well.
Exactly. Like, with the
You're
amount of
like,
draw and search you do in this deck, you would think that you would see a lot, but
maybe so. Like, this is one of those decks. Is like maybe someone would like come out with like a completely different list from what people are playing and make it good. But with the way it is, I don't see it topping a regional. It can
I
get
see it
close.
top in originals, but because it goes really well into Lucci, it goes really well into Doffy, it goes really well into Black Yellow
I don't
Luffy,
actually think. I don't think it's actually that good in the Lucci. I think like Lucci kind of stomps this deck. To be honest,
you might ask Pan about that. His 2 losses against Rager.
no, he's not a good Lucci player. But I think Lucci can beat this deck. I don't think it's amazing. If you can get high rolled by Reiju, but
I mean, HG on Porsche HG on Dawn 3, like turn 2. Oof.
yeah, it hurts, but you can definitely at the end you can get high rolled by the deck. But on average, I think Lucci does okay.
Yeah, I will still put in original top 6. If Law is here, then
No
Rage
way.
is definitely here.
No way, right? Like I think in this format, you're losing to like I think. Do you think the deck loses to Zoro?
Not sure. If it still plays Niji, the blue one, then probably not.
Yeah. But the lists typically aren't playing the blue one anymore.
Like or like 2 off.
Yeah. We can leave it there for now.
Yeah. Gecko Moria. There were some Gecko Moria players at championships.
Yeah, a pretty high win rate as well, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
I don't like this deck. I think like I've never liked this deck. I feel like it runs out of steam so fast. You get to search Moria, oh whatever. Like I think it's way worse than Rob Lucci.
The Greater of Shamban just really hit that deck very hard.
You don't have there's not enough reduction in the deck, and you can't like play Tempest Kick because you can't consistently have 10 cards in trash.
Yeah, basically
unless you open Cindy.
You're saving Grace's the 8-cost issue, but it needs to stick. If it doesn't, the deck feels bad.
There are just better black alternatives with like Lucci and even the new Black Luffy, Mono Black Luffy.
Yeah, but I still feel like this deck is pretty good.
You can top a regional for sure. But yeah, maybe just I think better than Law.
Better than Law.
Better than Law.
Ready El Sabo? We're going on to start to 13 now.
Yeah, ST13. Definitely playable.
Definitely playable, I think, yeah.
Definitely playable. Not done the most testing with this, but you can play a build with like a lot of rush. We can play a build that swarms the board really quick.
Yeah, basically you rush and then kill the rush back to life, play it again.
Yeah, it's an interesting deck for sure, but I don't think it's like amazing. Definitely the worst one out of that structure deck.
There's room for debate.
No, I think blue yellow ace is actually a pretty strong deck. Even like sometimes you can hit off leader effect and not play like one of the babies. You can just like Flampe or Hiyori to like heal it, and then like you have the new the new blue ace as well for the deck. That was like direct support.
Yeah, blue ace was good.
I would be wanting to put like ace up in potential.
Especially with the
Like
new wild girl stuff.
like I would put it higher. Like under Uta probably. I think this deck has the deck needs a good pilot, but I think it's a good deck.
And what about Savo?
Sabo,
I think it goes like
somewhere lower. Yeah, definitely from either like before or under Iceberg.
I feel like it's
Somewhere.
above Iceberg.
There's different ways you can build that deck, and there's different play styles.
Mm-hmm.
I think the rush build probably there, but if you're playing like the Rev Army build, lower.
Yeah.
The Rev Army build, I think it's not as good.
Do we need to say anything about this deck?
I think by far the best deck we've gone over so far, right?
Yeah, I just want the championship.
Yeah,
Like
it's an obnoxious deck to play against. But do you know what does beat this deck though?
what carrot?
The nuclear leader. But we'll get to it.
Yeah, it doesn't get anything new in OP08, right? But it's still.
I don't believe so. But like you can obviously play tech cards nowadays. Like they're playing 10 cost Kuzan in this deck as well.
10 cost Kuzan, like 4 cost finger
Yeah,
pistol.
I am interested to see how this deck evolves.
Yeah, it's a really strong deck, like very generic. It does its own thing.
Yeah, hard to play around.
Yeah, the European players that have cooked like this removal build for Black Yolov is really interesting.
Yeah, but it's good because the meta is like we're in a black heavy meta. But I think if it is the best deck, I think people can tech towards it very heavily. Like just off the top of my head, like Graph Blade for Nami.
No, because Zoro, if it sticks against this, it's just over.
Yeah. Like it loses too hard to Bonnie as well.
Okay, moving on
Moving
to
on.
EB.
The EB leader. I think all the EB leaders are really bad.
They are really bad. I don't like any of them.
What one do you think is the best one?
Definitely Oden.
Oh,
I feel like Oden is very, very good. Especially against decks that don't have removal. If the 5 cost bodies stick on the board, just
I would just stick all three bottom of Rogue and just move on to OP07. Let's just stick them all on bottom. Kiro's black yellow, like it's good color combination. The support's not there. Actually, I think like if you play the Coliseum in Kiro's, you can give Lucy Rush.
Yeah.
6 cost 7k draw a card.
Average Lucy enjoy right here.
And it resets your leader. Yeah, moving on to 07 then.
07.
Dragon really didn't really do anything.
Yeah, he was just kind of there. It brought the 8 cost.
Getting anything new either. I would stick Dragon bottom rogue probably. Maybe middle rogue actually.
Just somewhere in the middle, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay. Bonnie. No, I can talk about this deck. It gets the 5 cost carrot in OP8, right? Which is extremely strong. Extremely strong. And the deck moves out of the 8 cost kit build and goes straight into 8 cost Rosinante because you play so many 5 drops.
The thing with Bonnie is that like it's still going to have the problem it's always had in losing to black.
Yeah.
Which is like I think like the top few decks kind of has this like circle going around where like Luffy is losing to Bonnie, Bonnie is losing to Lucci, and Lucci is losing to Luffy.
Yeah, it's basically kind of a triangle. But
yeah, it's those 3 decks are I think by far going to be the 3 best decks of this upcoming format.
But I still feel like the new support that he gets, the Carrot and Electrical Luna, like slow down black, like fairly enough.
No way you're playing that in Bonnie. I think there's no way.
I've seen some lists. I don't personally play it, but
I don't even think that card is like amazing in Carrot. Like you're not playing forward in Carrot either.
No, you don't play for. It's a good card.
It's a
Yeah.
good card, but
Stolen to your big guys, basically.
it's too situational.
I would still put Bonnie in
second best
second
at the
best.
moment. Well,
I mean, it's better than Monkey D. Luffy, but it's not as generically good to everything else.
It beats Monkey D. Luffy, but I don't think it's a better deck.
No, it's not. It's not. Doesn't have a great matchup into most things.
Well, it's okay. You don't have any like terrible matchups. But you don't have any great matchups either.
I have great matchups.
Duffy is 50-50.
Not after the new starter decks come out.
Not after the new starter decks. Boa. The deck can do stuff.
The deck can actually. It's just mono blue 5/5 leader.
I mean, any blue deck is kind of does stuff, right?
Yeah, it basically the same. It does almost the same as blue Doflamingo. Just different, more event heavy, I would say.
I think it's worse than blue Doflamingo.
It is worse than Doflamingo. Definitely.
Maybe I would actually put this on just before blue yellow ace. Yeah, where it is right now.
Somewhere,
somewhere there.
Yeah, I feel like it has potential. Like the amount of removal this deck has, if it sees it basically.
I don't think it got anything new though, which is the problem.
No, it basically stays in the same spot.
Yeah.
Foxy.
Foxy. This deck was annoying.
Yeah, this is a stun deck. I'm surprised you're not playing it.
It's too bad. This deck is way too bad. But the leader effect having to have
it's a bit wrong.
It has to have 3 things on board for your leader effect to come alive.
Yeah.
And the only way to protect them is with Pickles, which is a 3-cost character, I think, or 4. Yeah, I just don't think it's good enough. I actually think this goes just below Rosinante, probably.
Yeah, somewhere here in the middle of wrong.
Somewhere there. Yeah, somewhere over there.
Can definitely stack somewhere else.
Lucci.
Black Lucci.
Arguably the best deck, right?
Yeah.
I think
even after stage, I still think this deck is like really good.
I still believe this is the best deck. You get 7-cost Jack.
Oh yeah, the new 7-cost Jack.
Cycles and pops, and then you have like
the new 2K.
You can potentially play the 9-drop Kaido as well, but I don't know if you would.
You don't, but it also gets like the new 2K Husku. So it's pretty good.
I think this is the best deck.
You can say that for all 3 of these leaders right here.
Yeah, I think the most tournament success will be Lucci. I think it's the most consistent one.
Yeah, 7-cost Jack just does numbers.
The Jack is too good. Like it's in the mirror as well. Like it gets +5 cost on board. Yeah, I would put it number 1. Definitely number 1.
Vegapunk. It gets a lot of new support.
Oh, you get an archetype beige, sort of.
Yeah. You get the snake, you get the Bonnie, you get the Nami.
Yeah, I've seen the Nami getting played in Enel as well. Like I don't understand it, but maybe Topper Rogue.
Topper Rogue, I think.
Topper Rogue. Maybe second to Underbellow. Maybe Underbellow Bay. I think like the deck still has a problem of running out of steam like very fast.
I don't think it runs out of steam, it just runs out of boss monsters.
Yeah, well, you have 4 Katakuri's and 4 Yamatos. You can't play 10-drop ace.
Yeah.
Yeah, it needs its own like high-end searchable, but
we'll get to there one day.
Eventually, that deck will be good. Eventually.
What 3D2I. Starter deck, Luffy.
Let's see. Starter deck, Luffy, SD14, right?
Yeah.
Care to take a guess what the win rate was in Liverpool?
In Liverpool.
19 players.
19 players. I saw that a lot of them made top cuts as well. I was like, I would say it's like 52.
52?
Yeah.
Well, it is a whopping 67.8% win rate.
67.
Yeah, 19 players.
That is insane.
This is a deck I'm wanting to test at some point, very very soon. But I think a lot of it is just due to people not knowing how to play against it, and then it has the.
It has a very good matchup with Tolucci, right?
It has a very good top cut conversion rate, right? 19 players and 5 in the main top cut.
Absolutely insane.
However, what do you think the win rate is in top cut?
In top cut, it's probably not that much. It's like
It's 37.
37. That went down a lot.
37% win rate in the top cut. It has it fell off pretty big, but
I mean,
I think
it depends on the matchup, right?
Yeah, it's good against black, right?
Mm-hmm.
Very good against black. You can remove stuff. You can actually remove stuff pretty easily. You play like all the admirals.
I feel like this deck.
I would put this above Gecko Moria.
I mean, yeah, it topped original.
Even
so.
like, I would put it above Reiji as well.
Really?
I think this deck is yeah. Like this deck does get support, like a lot of support.
Yeah, 7 cost check.
Like indirect support, but come OP09 as well. This deck gets a lot of stuff.
More knowledge.
I'm surprised people didn't actually test this deck more, but maybe we'll see a lot more of it in OP8. All right, we're finally onto the OP8s.
Yeah, and we're starting off with Chopper.
Chopper is by far the worst.
It is by far. It does what Zoro does, but arguably worse.
I think like this deck plays out like a bunch of characters that are like 4K attacks that just like gets cleared way too easily.
Mm-hmm.
Like the cost is low, the power is low, everything just fits on this leader.
And 4 life leader, and the green part doesn't do anything about this leader, right?
No, I think this deck is mainly red.
Mm-hmm. I'm surprised. Was a red green?
Yeah, like if they made this deck mono red, like it would not have made a difference.
It would actually be better.
It buffs like animals as well, but so I feel like if there are like a lot of good yellow animal cards, but they're not. The deck's not yellow.
It's green. We can play Nico Zoro. We can play Hody Jones. You can play the 4-cost Film Brook that plays on Straw Hat.
Yeah, I think the deck is just really, really slow. It's just really, really bad. I want to put this below Sabo. Like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not optimistic about this deck at all.
Me neither. What about Marco though?
Marco looks really fun. Obviously, like when it first came out, everyone's like, "Oh, we can play 9-cost Sanji into the red white beard."
Yeah, but
I think the deck is just too clunky. Being 4 life, you get rushed down way too easily. Red and blue also doesn't work the best together. I want to put this above Hody Jones, maybe.
Yeah,
but
yeah. With the new starter deck, it would definitely have a lot more potential.
You get stuff. You can play like the Marcos, which are all like really sticky, but not the most optimistic about this deck.
The 7-cost Edward Newgate is from the new starter deck. Just makes this deck so much better. But until then, we leave it here. Carrot.
I think Carrot. This is the deck I'm going to be playing in this set the most probably. This is it's like a more aggressive Bonnie. I think it has merit in the sense like you can beat a lot of the meta decks with this as well, but like you struggle with black. The deck is very inconsistent. Once you get the promo Carrot blocker, I think the deck gets a lot better, more consistent. If you can open your 1-cost searcher every game to have like a Minx on field, I think this is the best deck in the room. But if you can't open it, the deck just functionally doesn't do anything if you don't have like a low-cost Mink. Do I think this deck can top regional? Probably not.
Do you think it has potential?
Yeah, I mean it won a flagship in Japan, right? Or it won a 3v3 as well. The new Inuyasha is like Inuyashi card is it freezes 2/5 drops, which is really good. I would be wanting to put this maybe top of potential.
Top. I would never put it at top of potential.
The deck can
I wouldn't even
play
put
a
it
lot
above
of.
Kaido.
Oh, you're crazy! Like, I think that this deck is better than Zoro. I put 30 games into this deck today. The deck's actually pretty good.
Yeah, but to be
You,
honest,
you
I've
can,
not played against that deck that much.
yeah, it's mono green that can play a lot of the good generic green high ends. It's actually probably my favorite stun deck that's came out. You can play it like a really like just perma freeze everything.
Mm-hmm.
The deck is pretty miserable to play against sometimes. I do think this is actually better than Zoro by far. But
I'll trust you because you played
once
that
it
deck.
gets once it gets the promo, it's definitely where it is. But if you open your pieces, I think this deck is great.
Purple Black King.
When this leader first got announced, the 10 cost Kaido Big Mom into next turn Sabo Black Maria was pretty gross, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
realistically,
how many times can you pull off this combo without dying? You know? I played against like a few today. It's
slow.
it's just not there. It's just too slow. Like what you want to do, you just don't have enough time to do.
Even without red purple O in the meta, I feel still too slow.
It's one of those decks that's like, oh, I'm gonna play my 10 drop and die the turn after.
Classic.
I would.
Would you put it above Marco?
I think this is like bottom of potential, maybe.
Really?
Like worse than Rebecca, yeah. You can like this is one of those decks that you can definitely high roll some people. This deck is like it's really fun. The new event that's locked in the Beast Pirates and the Big One Pirates that KOs too. It's actually really good. And like it's like a VV-esque effect where you can like draw a card every turn as well. I think maybe someone will figure out a list to make it work, but
until then,
until then, I think it's there. There's definitely potential.
The new Big Mom Pirates leader.
I think this is probably the best leader in this set.
Yeah, I agree.
Is that or is the other yellow leader?
Turn 4 a Big Mom thing cost is just
yeah. Well, so you go first on your 3 Dawn, you attack and then play the Viola blocker, and then you go to 6. Next turn 6, play Katakuri, ramp 1, leader effect, ramp another one, and then play Big Mom, Big Mom, Big Mom. The new 9 cost Big Mom's really good as well. You can like you heal one and you remove a guy, and then next turn you can Big Mom again. I would put this probably above Moria, but under Reiju. I think
it could definitely
it being
top
a 4-life. Yeah, it's a 4-life leader. It doesn't like have the Katakuri game plan of all my cards have triggers, but I think the pudding deck's just not consistent enough. Is the only problem.
If you consider 10 moms and the ramp, then yeah, nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, people are playing like Bon Clays in this deck, which I think is also quite clunky. It's there for when you brick, but
yeah, it's like a last resort.
Yeah, it's like a lot of these new leaders, if it can see its pieces, it's really good. Like, but it's just the problem is seeing its pieces every single game.
But it's still a very good leader.
Yeah. I think the last leader we have is Kalgara. This is the most consistent one.
Yeah, I've seen it top a lot in like Japanese tournaments.
But it's very, very consistent. I think, but however, I think there's only like 3 targets you can play off leader effect. One of them is a 2K. It plays like the list I've looked at plays like 7 or 8 counter events that I've been testing. I don't think this deck is because it's OP08 and a lot of people are going to be playing like the new leaders. I think this leader gets like completely ran over by Kara and King, I want to say. But just in like a vacuum, this is maybe like just between Kara and Zoro, I think.
Yeah, I'm curious what people can cook up with this leader, especially with the purple logo now.
I mean, on your 4-round turn, you can like play Ohm into Holly and use leader effect to play out something else.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's a very good budget deck. But
Yeah, it's definitely
put this.
the best yellow like and cheapest deck.
Yeah, yellow has this thing where like everything is super expensive.
But
But
with this leader, I don't think it's that expensive.
oh no, everything is like the common or like a rare.
Mm-hmm.
You can like you play the 5-cost Ace as well. You can play 10-drop Ace, but it feels a little clunky. The 7-drop Enel feels okay as well, but you cannot play the I Am God event, which is the only thing holding this back. I would not put this leader that high. I think it's near Zoro. I don't think this is like the second best leader in this set. Maybe it is.
Mm-hmm.
Top of potential, just above Kara, I think. Probably.
It definitely has a lot of potential,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, those three. I think I will be testing this deck no matter what, but it needs to go lower than regional topping. I can't see this beating stuff like Lucci or Bonnie.
But it can definitely snatch some local wins, right?
Yeah, I mean, like if you look at all the decks that are above it, right? Like everything in meta defining, I don't think this deck can beat.
Unless it very
Even
much high rolls and the other day
yeah,
breaks.
even in the potential tier, like the top few, I think it's gonna lose to Carrot, it's gonna lose to Zoro, it's gonna lose to Uta, and it's gonna lose to Boa. Now that I'm looking at this again, I think this goes underneath Zoro.
Other than Zoro.
You can under Zoro. I think you can catch black decks off guard if they break, but this deck's not that good. What do you think?
I'm gonna try this deck. I don't know how good it will be, but seeing the results in Japan, like from just that, I can say that this deck can definitely like maybe make top cut. Like 1 out of the 32 players could be a Calgara, but it needs a lot of like good piloting.
Yeah, it's like an aggro deck, but it's I think it's just worse than other aggro decks.
Mm-hmm.
Anything you want to change before we round off the video?
Looking at it, maybe put Fox a bit and tear down. Foxy's not that good.
Yeah, I can see it.
Foxy's not that good. Anything else? Maybe Katakuri a bit below.
Yeah.
Katakuri.
I mean, it loses to Reiju, but I think it's better than Reiju.
Mm-hmm.
10-drop Big Mom is way too good.
If you see it, back to back, you know.
Yeah. Well, I think we're gonna just end it here, folks. And if you stay tuned this whole time, thank you very much.
Thank you for watching.
We'll be doing another one for OP09 when the time comes. And stay tuned. Thanks, guys.